Hello everyone, I am Frank John and welcome back to Joshu Reaction. Alright, I want to jump straight into this because the story has been eating and I know it's going to eat at you. Right now, at the very top of the FBI, one of the most powerful law enforcement agencies on the face of this earth, there is a serious turbulence, and I mean serious. We are talking about a sitting FBI director who is reportedly in what sources are calling panic mode. We are talking about lie detector tests being ordered inside his own team. We are talking about allegations of heavy drinking, of locking himself away from senior leaders, of putting a chill through that entire bureau. Now, listen, I want to be fair today. I want to be honest because that's what this channel is about. We are not here to destroy anybody, we are not here to play political games, but we are here for the truth. And when there are this many questions swirling around the director of the FBI, the agency responsible for keeping this country safe, we as American patriots have every right to ask those questions out loud. So let's get into it. Let's start. Let's talk about what we know, what's been reported, and what it means for you and me. Now, for those of you who may be newer to the channel, let me give you a little background because context matter. Kash Patel was confirmed as FBI director under President Trump's second term. He came in as a loyalist, a guy who had worked closely with Trump before and was seen as someone who would shake up the old guard at the bureau. A lot of people had high hopes, but fast forward to right now to the spring of 2026 and the picture is very different. It started with a bombshell story published in the Atlantic magazine written by a reporter named Sarah Fitzpatrick, and the story raised some serious red flags about Patel's leadership. According to more than 2 dozen sources, she spoke with people who were inside the FBI. There were concerns about what the article described as conspicuous inebriation and unexplained absence. That's a fancy way of saying people were worried about his drinking habits and about him not showing up when he was supposed to. Now, the article also claimed at the one point members of his own security detail were so alarmed they reportedly discussed having to use breaching equipment, the kind of gear you'd use in a tactical situation just to make contact with him behind locked doors. That's a stunning claim. Patel has flatly denied all of this. He called the reporting false and he went one step further. He filed a 250 million defamation lawsuit against the Atlantic. So right now off the gate, you have got a major fight between the FBI director and the press. And then things got even more complicated. Here's where it starts to get really messy because after that Atlantic article came out, someone inside the FBI was talking. And when you are the FBI director and your own people are leaking embarrassing stories about you to press, that is a serious problem. According to the reports, word got out that Patel allegedly became furious when he discovered that one of the personalized bottles of broadband he did been gifting to staff and associates had gone missing. I'm not making this up. These were actual bottles of Woodford Reserve, as well known bourbon brand, engraved with the words Kash Patel FBI Director alongside the FBI shield. He had been handing these out. Now, one of those bottles went missing. Patel reportedly went ballistic. A retired FBI agent who works as a legal advisor to active agents, a man named Kurt Sudik, told The Atlantic that several agents came to him for legal advice after alleged being threatened with polygraph tests and possible prosecution over that missing bottle. Swidik's exact words were, and I am quoting this directly, it turned into a show. Other attorneys who handle FBI legal matters said their clients reportedly very similar experiences. And here's the bigger issue. After Fitzpatrick's first article dropped, reports emerged that the FBI had opened what source called an insider threat investigation focused on tracking down who leaked to the reporter. Think about what that means for a second. The FBI alleged investigating a journalist for reporting on the FBI. The FBI's unspoken man pushed back hard and said that is completely false, but the stories kept coming. And that brings us to the polygraphs. This is the chapter that made my jaw drop because this week investigative reporters Carol Leoning and Ken Dilianing over at MS Now published a major new report, and here is what they found, citing two people who were directly briefed on the situation. Kash Patel has ordered polygraph examination, lie detector tests for more than 2 dozen current and former members of his security detail, as well as several information technology staff at the bureau. That is, at least 25 people asked to sit in a chair and prove they didn't talk to reporters. And according to three people familiar with what's happening inside the FBI this week, Patel has walled himself off from some of his senior bureau leaders. He reportedly avoided meetings with the key operational leaders, the people who ran the day to day critical work of the FBI. Now, why does that matter? Because there are active threats and investigation in this country that the FBI director needs to be briefed on. There are decisions that only he make, and if he's not in those meetings, if he focused on hunting down leakers instead of managing the bureau, people inside the FBI are worried about whether the right decisions are being made. The FBI spokesperson Ben Williamson did push back on this. He said Patel has been attending meetings every single day this week, including with his deputy directors and senior intelligence team. He also said, and I want to be fair here, that the only people in panic are the panicants in the media. Those were his words. So, you have two very different versions of the same story, and that right there is a part of problem. Now, here's the thing. This didn't start this week. This has been building for months, and when you look at the full picture, you start to see a pattern. Late last year, November 2025, MS Now first reported that President Trump and White House advisors had privately discussed whether to remove Patel from his job. That's stunning. Just months into his role as a FBI director, and they were already conversation about replacing him. Why? Well, part of it goes back to a report that Patel had ordered a team of SWAT agents in Nashville to act as a personal security detail for his girlfriend, Alex Wilkins, who is a country music performer. That story raised serious questions about whether government resources were being used for personal benefit. The FBI said it was appropriate because she was receiving threats, but critics noted that no previous FBI director had given their girlfriend as a separate SWAT security team. There were also questions raised about his use of a government jet for a personal travel. And then there's the Trump angle that I think a lot of people are missing. President Trump, as many of you know, does not drink. He's spoken publicly about losing his brother Fred to alcoholism. That's a very personal and painful thing for the president. According to reports, Trump was not happy when he saw footage of Patel drinking beers publicly with the Team USA men's hockey squad after their Olympic gold medal win earlier this year. The optics of a senior government official drinking on what was supposed to be official business, that reportedly rubbed the president the wrong way. So this isn't just about media criticism. The concern apparently extends all the way to the Oval Office. All right, I want to step back for a second because I think this is the most important part of today's video. We need to talk about what this really means, not just for politics, not just for Washington, but for you, for everyday Americans, for everyday Canadians watching this channel who care about stability and accountability in the institutions they were supposed to protect all of us. The FBI is not just some government department, it handles terrorism. It handles child exploitation cases. It handles cyber attacks on our infrastructures. It handles some of the most serious, dangerous work in the country. When the director of that agency is consumed by infighting, by hunting leakers, by controversy after controversy, that takes intention away from the real job. And here's what bothers me as a Christian and as a patriot. We are not asking for the perfection. Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. You are not perfect. But when you are entrusted with that level of power, with the leadership of the FBI, accountability matters, truth matters, character matters. Proverbs 11:3 says, "The integrity of the upstairs guides them, but the crookedness of the patriots destroy them. I believe that with everything in me. I don't care what party somebody belongs to. I don't care what political team they are on. If there is a pattern of behavior that raises serious questions about how our most powerful law enforcement agency is being led, we need to stand for the truth. We need to ask the hard questions. We need to demand accountability. That's not an attack. That's our duty as Americans. Does the FBI have problems right now? I think the honest answer, based on everything we have seen, in yes, and we deserve leaders who take that seriously. So let me hear from you in the comments. Do you still trust the FBI as an institution? Do you think Kash Patel is getting a fair shake from the media? Or do you think where there's a smoke, there's a fire? Drop your thoughts down below. I read every single comment. This community is everything to me, and I want to hear what real Americans are thinking right now. If you got value from this video, if you feel like this is the kind of honest, grounded coverage you have been looking for, please hit that subscribe button, because while the big channels play games and pick sides, we are going to keep doing what we have always done on this channel: telling the truth, holding everyone accountable left, right, and center, and putting God and country first. That's a lot going on this world right now. A lot of noise, a lot of confusion, but I promise you, as long as I am behind the camera, we are going to cut through all of it together. Until next time, stay grounded, stay faithful, and never stop asking questions. We are Christians, and in God we trust. I am Frank John. This has been Joshu Reaction. Stay sharp, stay informed. Talk soon. Take care. Peace. Bye bye.